Hey everyone, Scott Chesky here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Sirui C60B bicolor LED spotlight. As a quick disclaimer, Sirui did send me this light for review, but they are not paying me. However, they did provide an affiliate link for you to use if you choose to purchase this light. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Sirui C60B COB LED spotlight. Now right off the bat, this light is very unique because of its size and weight. In fact, if you compare it with my Sony a7 III, it's pretty staggering how close in size they are, and even in weight. The Sirui C60B is 110 millimeters in length and about 115 in height, which puts it roughly around 4.5 inches in both dimensions. This thing is tiny. It weighs about 1.45 pounds, so it's extremely light, which is part of what makes this such an interesting and unique light. I keep saying whenever I review Sirui products, I'm always just fascinated by how innovative they are. You've got the telescoping RGB light that I've just never seen anything like that. And I know there are a few other products out there from Amaran, for instance, that have these smaller kinds of COB lights. But for me, this was actually the first that I had ever laid hands on. And I just love how tiny this is. Especially for somebody like me who does a lot of travel shoots. You know, it's very quick, run and gun. You come into somebody's corporate office and you just got to set up. You don't want to compromise the quality of the lighting. Something like this could be a real game changer because it fits into your suitcase. It's also bicolor, which is very useful depending on, you know, if you're trying to match sunlight or you're trying to match tungsten, or maybe, you know, similar to this setup, you're doing a little bit of color contrast. It's just very versatile. It's very small. But first, let's talk about what's in this light kit. So right off the bat, there's something that I really love about this light, which is the bag. This bag is heavy duty, but lightweight. It's just really well made. It's really high quality design. Even on the top, you can tell there's a sort of Velcro space here for your tripods or your light stands. There's a little space here to put maybe like a business card or a label of who owns the light, which I think is very thoughtful and cool. And what's great about this bag is everything fits in here perfectly. There's plenty of padding, you know everything's safe, but there's also room for other gear. I actually have the E30B light from Sirui, which is a panel light that I'll be reviewing at a later time, and that slips right into this kit as well, which is very nice. You've got your DC power plug here. You've got a reflector Bowens mount, which is very useful. You've got a grip. Cool thing about this design is that I think Sirui is very much intending to make this a light that you could see yourself Hollywooding, which the term Hollywooding basically means hand-holding your light. So again, run and gun stuff, you know, you throw some batteries on this light, maybe you're in a alleyway filming an indie night scene, maybe you're at a wedding, maybe you're at an event. The ability to sort of hand-hold this light, super bright, super powerful light. And speaking of power supplies, the light comes with this detachable battery plate for FP970 batteries, which I think is very useful. I think it's cool that it's detachable. It just adds a little bit of versatility. It also just makes it easier to slip on batteries because you can take off the plate and then put the batteries on rather than putting the batteries directly onto the light, which I think would be a bit of a pain. The one gripe that I do have with what's in the kit, and it's not a big deal, this handle mount, it's just very plastic. It doesn't feel like it's gonna shatter or anything like that. I just think for future products down the line, it'd be nice to have even just a little extra weight in the handle, maybe make it of something like aluminum instead of plastic. You know, anything that needs to tighten like this, it just bugs me a little bit when it's plastic. It just makes it feel a little bit more like it's possible that it could break while you're on set. That's a tiny nitpick. You don't even need to use the handle. It's optional. And there is a 3/4 thread on the bottom of the light as well, so you can mount just about anything to it. Another great feature of this light is that it's very quiet. Its fan boasts only a volume of 20 decibels. In addition, this light is very bright. Without the reflector mount, at 1 meter, it's rated at 3000 lux. And if you compare that to the comparable Amaran 60X, that light, though extremely bright, especially with its hyper reflector, is only rated at 2155 lux at 1 meter without the hyper reflector. So this light, it's very bright. You know, it's not something that I would pit against the sun, or if you're doing sort of a daylight sort of studio setup, it's going to have trouble competing with the sun if you're using a softbox. But if you're using just sort of the spotlight with the reflector mount, it's going to be darn bright. Especially, again, think of it for these sort of live event scenarios like weddings, keynotes, those kinds of things. The light boasts a CRI rating of 96 and a TCLI of 98, so it's very good and accurate color rendition. You can also download the Sirui app from the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and with this app you can control all the basic functions that you would expect, such as luminance from 0 to 100, which you can also control on the body of the light. You can control white balance from 2700 Kelvin to 6800 Kelvin, and the light also comes with a number of effects, which is another aspect of this light that makes it interesting. The light features lightning flash, broken bulb, TV, pulse, electro welding, fireworks, SOS, bomb, CCT recycle, a candle, and a fire. For optional accessories, you can get a 60 centimeter quick setup softbox and a light stand at 2.8 meters in height. I'm actually using the softbox right now, and I find it to be very useful for this kind of setup. Maybe you're in a small studio space, maybe you're in your living room like me. There's a time and a place for a deeper softbox, but again, for more run and gun stuff, shallow, smaller, very useful. You can even mount it on a handle and Hollywood it with the softbox. It's very useful for that. But also having a shallower softbox is great if maybe you're in a bedroom space or a smaller space for your studio and you don't have the real estate for a deeper box. It's very soft. It has a honey crate grid. It has quick release umbrella style setup. So I highly recommend the softbox if you are interested in the light. Okay, so I want to show you a little demonstration of the light using the softbox from Sirui. First off, my camera settings are 1/50th of a second shutter, f2.8. My white balance is at 3900 Kelvin, just because I like having kind of warmer background lights and cooler key light. Get sort of that mixed temperature look for some color contrast here. And my ISO is at the FX3's base, which is 800. So the light is about 2 feet away from my face. You can see it's wrapping actually pretty nicely. The luminance at the moment is at 58%. So I'm gonna bring it down to 50, show you what that looks like. 25%, and then 0. Then from the app, I can actually fine tune it right where I like it. I've got it at about 43% right now. And then my temperature is set to 4500, just to, again, kind of have that mixed temperature. But this is 2800 Kelvin. This is 7000 Kelvin. It's got a very wide range. If you needed to do like moonlight or something, this could pass at 7000 Kelvin without having to add any CTB or anything. I wish it could do 2700 Kelvin instead of 2800 Kelvin. I'm usually around 2900 Kelvin if I'm trying to do sort of a warmer look, but having that option would be nice because that's the temperature of most Kelvin fixtures. So that's my only little nitpick. Otherwise, you know, I love the range of this. Again, 100%. This thing gets bright. This isn't a softbox. That's 100%. This is 25%. Not quite bright enough. You could still bring this up in post. 50%. So you can see here, this softbox is great for this kind of setup for a YouTube studio. And again, the size of it, it's just very compact. It's really kind of everything you would need. And maybe for your studio setups, you are using a bigger light like a Aputure 300D. This light then would be a great hair light or background light. It's very versatile. There's a lot of use cases for it. So what are the use cases for a light like this? Again, I can't stress enough the portability of this light. I think that is really the thing that differentiates it. You know, it's a great light for weddings. It's a great light for event videography. You can have somebody run and gun with it, hand holding it, or you can set it up on a stand. It's perfect for those kinds of things. As I mentioned before, I do a lot of customer testimonial videos where I'll fly or drive out to a customer site. I've got maybe a half hour to get an interview with them. And so something like this that's lightweight and small, I can throw it in my suitcase if I need to, or I can fit the smaller bag into one of my larger bags, is just perfect for that kind of shoot. Again, not so useful if you are trying to match to windows, or you're doing a daylight aesthetic, really only because of the brightness of the light. 60 watts has its limitations, 3000 lux has its limitations, but for more controlled lighting like this, you really can't go wrong with it. Now let's talk about the price of this light. It retails in the Sirui store for $250 US, but they tend to have lots of discount codes, and if you check in the description, I also have an affiliate link where you can get a discount on the light. Now, is this a light I would recommend? There might be some cheaper options out there, but again, I think the innovation that Sirui just keeps showing time and time again with their lights is really astounding. I think $250 is a good price considering the versatility, the portability, and frankly the brightness of this light. So yes, I would recommend it if you are looking for a light with this kind of output and with this kind of usability to it. Thank you again for watching this video, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me, and it would be a huge help to this channel. And feel free to sound off in the comments if you've used this product or you have other products that you know of. I love having discussion with you guys and hearing your thoughts. So until next time, bye.